Hi Sagittarius, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for the 8th through the 14th. I'm actually not going to use these right now for this first spread. So I'm going to do a few spreads. We'll do the general, and then I'm going to do a he said, she said spread, and however you want to apply that, but I'll do a relationship read for you and also for an energy that you are either currently dealing with, you were dealing with, or that you will be dealing with. And let's get right into things. I'm going to timestamp below like I always do. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. My name is Jackie, for those of you who are new here. I do weekly readings for all of the astrological archetypes. I mix tarot, astrology, numerology, and psychology. And let's get right into stuff. So we have on the 10th all the way through October 7th, Venus is going to be in Scorpio. Very deep, passionate time. That's going to be in your 12th house. So like under the hood, you're going to be feeling all kinds of stuff in your subconscious mind. I mean, that 12th house is the hidden. It's your subconscious. I mean, a lot of you are going to be feeling just a lot of very deep, passionate, emotional energy in your subconscious, having to do with either relationship, a money situation, anything like that, even having to do with fairness, to be honest with you, right? But this is a very deep, passionate time. Superficial flirts, shallow conversations, surface anything, not going to fly in this energy. It's just not. We want the body and the soul in this energy, you know what I mean? Very extreme, intense, and in a way that's unforgettable, right? So there's a lot of amping up, and again, because it's in that 12th house energy for you, there's a lot of deep emotion and deep feelings here. Venus is very emotional here to begin with in Scorpio, and then put it in the house of Pisces, ruled by Neptune, which is very illusory. I mean, you're going to be very kind of thrown into the idea of fantasy, escape, anything like that. But not only having to do with love, though. I mean, not everybody's in relationship, but yeah, I mean, if it has to do with relationship or love, it's a very sensual, passionate time, but very intense energy regarding money matters as well. And also being very, very hell-bent and focused on feeling like things that you're involved in are fair. And you're going to feel very intuitively, like very happily consumed by a relationship, by a project that you are involved in. And even though you're going to be feeling very pushed energetically to completely embrace something, blind faith is going to be really, really hard for you in this energy, where you're really going to want people to sort of not prove themselves, because it sounds very sort of like holier than thou. I don't mean it like that. We're all going to be feeling like we're not going to be able to help but to question. And the reason we're questioning is because there's this fear of being too vulnerable, or of giving up our own power in a particular way. And that energy is going to be quite strong. It's kind of like an all or nothing energy that can end up compelling us to create crisis in order to test something, right? It can happen like that, right? For some of you. So, I did want to mention that, but let's get into the cards, and I'll weave in the astrology as we go along. So starting with the 8 of Coins, I like this energy for you, Sagittarius. I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at your chart. Love, 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 love what I'm seeing for negotiating anything having to do with money, work, anything like that. So good, so good. And I feel like a lot of you have sort of been on this very gradual trajectory, right? Going forward, having to do with something related to career. Again, this is a Sagittarius archetype, so I don't know you or your personal chart or what's aspecting what, if that's not your experience, but especially Sagittarius risings, unless you have many things negatively afflicting your chart, generally speaking, Sagittarius in general are in a very good space, going in a good direction, having to do with money. So the 8 of Coins, in that same vein here, we have the Sun in Virgo, so focusing on responsibilities in a very diligent and hardworking way. This is an energy of money or connection being on its way as a result of your previous efforts. So this isn't like you woke up last Tuesday with a really good idea. This is something that you've been working on, right? Really nice. There's a really good opportunity here to further something that you've been working on, whether it's a project, whether it's an educational goal, whether it's advancing a skill set, whatever it is. Really nice energy. In the same way, this could also be positively impacting a relationship, where if you've been in a space in a relationship where things have been a little tricky and a little challenging, you being able to put on, like everybody being able to put on their let's get serious hats, right? And putting in the work that's necessary to truly make a relationship work. Now, clarifying that, we have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is always, you're caught between two ideas, two aspects of a situation that you have to figure out. And you have to figure out what's best going to maximize what it is that you want for yourself, where it is that you want to go. The fact that it is being clarified by the Devil and then the Ten of Swords, we have to pay attention to this, especially with that, with that Venus and Scorpio in that 12th house. You want to make sure that there's... Again, I'm going to put it out there as I'm speaking to you, but because when we're dealing with relationships or we're dealing with very close business connections, the energy can become very, very enmeshed. So I'm going to give you the messages and then you apply them to your life as you see fit. But when we have the Devil and the Ten of Swords, clarifying some of this tells me that there is some sort of heavy imbalance that's going on where there's finally an end to a challenging era of this imbalance. Something has been really difficult and maybe either, you know, where there was either cheating, there was a lot of narcissistic tendencies, a lot of unfairness, a lot of manipulation, gaslighting, deflection, negative stuff like that. Or it could even just be simple imbalance in relationship or even in a business situation. The Ten of Swords means it's done. There's a final release of something, and it's going to release you from a frustration and a stress, even if it's painful in some way. It's the end of a difficult time, so that you're going to be able to transform into a healthier energy, a healthier experience with fresh eyes, right, and a new mindset. But you know, it's this deciding though. What do I do? Do I take this path or that path? Do I take, you know, this job or that job, this investor, that investor, this house or that house, this relationship or that one? And you're trying to figure out which is the best for me. Now, I have to say that the Two of Wands is a very beneficial card in that this does indicate for some of you a new romantic partnership, maybe through work or friends. This could also indicate you gaining influence in work or having to do with some sort of money situation because of your specific approach to something. Really good opportunities on the way to allow your star to rise, either in your personal life or your private life. It's good. But there's this call to look at where is the imbalance. And let me just like interject why this might be tricky this week, right? Because this is what needs to be done. It definitely is what needs to be done. I'm just looking here. Yeah, because we got the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Cups. We have the Seven of Swords. Like, you're involved in something that you're just not sure if it's the right thing for you, even though there's really good conversation coming in. Oh my gosh, I feel like I got this energy sort of for you guys last week, where I feel like there's one part of your life that's going amazingly, and then another part, it's not that it's so bad, but there are challenges there. But it also might be in the same area. So let me explain. We have on the 14th, 15th, depending on where you live, Mars is going into Libra. And that's going to be happening in your 11th house. And that 11th house has to do with groups that you associate with, friends. But it's also your hopes and your wishes for the future, right? Now, Mars, when it's in Libra, doesn't want to step on anybody's toes, doesn't want to have any kind of confrontation, doesn't want to be the bad guy in anything, right? We can all struggle with some indecisiveness during this time, and for you, because it's in your 11th house, again, you might be a little confused about something that's going on with the groups that you're dealing with, or your friends that you're dealing with, or something having to do directly with your hopes and wishes for the future, right? They can be this sort of like, I'm not sure if I want to do this, so I'm not sure if I want to do this. But Mars is a warrior energy, and Libra is very indirect in approach. So what can end up happening here in that 11th house for you is a lot of mental gymnastics while you're trying to sort of work something out with somebody, so that it's almost this very strong attempt to make everybody comfortable, but at the same time, you may end up engaging in passive aggressive behavior, because that's the shadow manifestation of this, but you're not the only one. So it's almost like everybody trying to be a little too polite in a situation. So I feel like that is kind of like an energy that I'm getting here, right? Which I think is kind of interesting. But I feel like, you know, we have this Eight of Swords energy here. And the Eight of Swords is this feeling very restricted, very trapped, thinking things are never going to improve or get better, or it's always going to be like this. And that inciting some sort of anxiety that can get in the way of you being able to clearly concentrate on whatever it is that you're wanting to deal with here. And because specifically you might feel like you don't belong in a situation anymore. You might feel like you don't belong in that connection, that relationship, that friendship, that business situation, that, you know, intimate connection, whatever it is. And you're going to need a lot of determination to pull yourself out of it, even if it means swallowing your pride and, you know, trying to get past something. But I feel like there's something on tap that's going to be very sort of disappointing for you while something else comes in here, Sagittarius. I just feel like that with the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups, because we have here in your chart, you have Venus and is squaring Saturn. So your Venus is in your 12th house and Saturn is in your 3rd house. So there might be something going on with either a sibling or extended family member. That could be a cousin, an aunt, and an uncle, somebody like that. It could also be some sort of but the idea here is that there's this jealousy and this coldness, or even a disconnect with a loved one that causes you grief or loneliness or loss or disappointment or something like that. Like somebody could disappoint you with indifference or criticism, right? Having to do, so it could be a family member for sure, or it could just be somebody that you're dealing with in business, but your emotional environment's probably going to be pretty strained during this week, where it feels like, oh, nothing's really going smoothly, maybe at home or at work, right? Because the 3rd house could also be signing on the dotted line, like any kind of paperwork, you know, having to do with maybe really anything, having to do with a project, a job, an investment, anything like that, right? So that is a thing. So I just feel like there's going to be this identification of some sort of discomfort, right? Also, Venus, you know, still in that 12th house, is Ceci squaring Neptune for you in the 4th house, which has to do with home. So some sort of strange, sudden, unexpected twist, argument, something, could even be a breakup, something like that, could end up shattering your peace, and it leaves you leaving you to feel very nervous, maybe even a little anxious, rejected, maybe. Some of you might even feel kind of betrayed regarding something. Now, we're talking about the 4th house. Yes, it's home, it's roots, it's family. It's also your ability to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure in something. So something might be occurring to you in that 12th house, right? Where you're realizing maybe you can't trust something about some sort of negotiation you're working out with a house, something going on with a family member, something going on with, and that doesn't have to only be your spouse. It could just be family in general, right? 3rd and 4th house are really family. So I feel like family is kind of a thing for you. And I feel like it's more extended family, right? Particularly like as an adult situation anyway. But the thing is, things could completely go in your favor just as long as you don't go overboard with your reaction having to do with something. Others of you could just be like very suspicious over how an investment is rolling out, you know, where you're just like, I'm not sure if this is the right thing for me. But regardless, with the Sun semi-square Venus, you're likely to experience this lack of support when it comes to your own personal goals. Now, that could be because of like lack of money or emotional support or whatever it is. Just focus on making changes where you can, like looking at what you can control and don't control, you can't control, and let go of any sort of like negative behaviors and thoughts that could impede your ability to move forward in a more optimistic way, because we do have the Sun is quincunxing that Jupiter energy, right? And again, I feel like it's very much, it's this energy, it's like that energy is between your 10th house and your 3rd house. So I do feel like there's something going on with career and a sibling, a family member, where you live, but there's some sort of confliction there, or even the ability to negotiate something, right? Because that 3rd house, 9th house is the axis of negotiating. And I just feel like there's something very suspect going on there. You know, with the Sun Ceci squaring Saturn is again in that 3rd house. It's time to reflect on your truth realistically and figure out your feelings of stuckness in whatever it is that you're feeling stuck in. And you have to identify, is this a temporary period of frustration, or is it time to make some more serious decisions so that you can actually live in a way that's more authentic to what it is that you really, really want? And don't be too bummed out if this particular week things seem kind of foggy, because the Sun is opposing Neptune, and that Neptune in your 4th house. So you might be a little confused, right, and your energy might feel a little compromised, a little on the low side, just while you consider options, right, having to do with either where you're living, your family, what you need to feel grounded, rooted, and safe and secure. Don't try to make any big sweeping decisions right now. I would say, looking at the astrology, I would say give it about 6 weeks to lift. Give it about 6 weeks for Sun to come out of the opposition with Neptune, to get out of it and in conjunct to Neptune, and to get into a trine, right? So I would say more like 6-week energy. And I feel like at that point, even though this is for this week, guys, you know, my readings always kind of like extend out a little bit. You're going to be feeling like something isn't sitting right with you. Right? And you're like, I need to kind of like get out of something, but that's being clarified by success. So it's almost like as you're shutting a door here, something else is opening up for you. Or you're saying no to this person and saying yes to this person because, man, is this good. This is deserved success, a great energy if you've been struggling lately. This is acknowledgement at work here. In a relationship, this is feelings being shared, well received, really good communication where there's not only a deepening of connection, but a deep awareness of what's necessary. So almost like a very strong empathy as well. This is just great news for honestly, any aspect, whether it's love, whether it's property, whether it's work, decision, education. So here you are saying, I'm not sure, like something's over here. Some sort of imbalance is over. And you're feeling like, yeah, I don't belong in this anymore. And this is you just like moving forward. It's almost like you're leaving somebody that did not have good intentions for you, or their energy was just really like bringing you down, Sag. Or there was something, you know, look, you guys are the sign of truth and integrity. You are. I love when I say this, and how many people have like a horrible experience with like an ex who's a Sag and they're like, they're the worst. Like, look, no, Sagittarius, the archetype, that axis, and this is another one I always get. Sagittarius and Gemini, that is the axis of truth. And I love when people are like, Geminis are the biggest liars, Sagittarius are manipulative and underhanded. In their shadow manifestation, I'd probably agree with you. But in their illuminated manifestation, no, they are the truth. They are the most truthful and the most... the energies that are most tuned into their own integrity. You know, a lot of people don't really like what that means for them often, but regardless, okay? So your moral code and your moral compass is going to be very important to you. So if you've been dealing with an energy here with this Devil, this Ten of Swords, and this Eight of Swords energy, where you feel like they were a challenge to your moral code, your moral compass, and what you believe to be the right way of living, you are dropping them off at the corner. You're saying goodbye, Mars and Aries, making plans, moving forward. This is partnership. This is gaining influence at work regarding your particular approach to something, but there are two aspects to a situation, and you're just going to have to figure out which is the best for you. Whether it's a relationship, a business partnership, an actual offer, whatever it is. But this does equate to good opportunities, no, great opportunities on the way, allowing, again, you to move forward. You start to rise, all of that like good stuff. But you're also, it's funny because I feel like you're moving forward, but you're assessing the past here, right? I mean, the Judgment energy is about assessing and letting go of the past and spiritually waking up. If this has to do with career or money, again, acknowledgement. Lots of acknowledgement going on here, Sagittarius. So acknowledgement for your success coming, finances improving, beautiful, beautiful. If this has to do with relationship, this is about assessing the situation, assessing the relationship, whether it's intimate, family, friendship, whatever it is, and shifting it into a new phase. Now, for some of you, there might need to be a need for reconciliation if you've been out of contact with somebody, or the need to reconcile something, some sort of issue that came up in the connection, which is great, but only if you feel like the relationship's worthwhile. So if it's with this person who's got like, you know, very messy integrity, you have to ask yourself, do you think they changed? Do you think that's even part of who they are, or are they just naturally very self-serving? You know, it's that kind of jam. But this is you going in a good, this is you definitely going in a good direction, and you slowly but surely releasing a situation, a person. And just because this third house, fourth house thing, I mean, it could certainly have to do with, again, either a sibling, an extended family member. Some of you might even be loving like a parent from afar, like if they're just very like a messy situation like that. But with the Eight of Cups, this is a Saturn and Pisces energy. And what this energy kind of is like saying, okay, this thing, this person felt so right to me at one point. They were such a good friend of mine. They were such a close family member. They were like my dream come true in relationship. This was my dream job situation, whatever it was, right? But I'm not feeling it anymore. And the thing is, it's a healthy recognition. This indicates a lot, very high emotional intelligence, where something doesn't feel right anymore and you recognize it's time to move on, and it's sadness but no regret. And you may have even checked out emotionally from the situation already because you know that it's really not, it's not the right thing for you. You know, it's really not. And you're recognizing that, right? There's definitely this recognizing it. We have the Six of Cups energy. This is very interesting to me because I almost feel like this is somebody else. So the Six of Cups, this is a lot of feeling very strong nostalgia, the past coming back around, needing to reconcile with somebody, make amends, reconnecting with old friends or somebody that you haven't seen in a while. But this is also about finding the right balance in relationship. And if you feel like you've suffered mistreatment, or you feel like you were you ended up being the one who mistreated somebody else, things being remedied here. Things being remedied. It's very interesting because like something is leaving and then this reconnecting from the past. But you know what? Honestly, you cannot trust them. Or, you know, this might be you just really not trusting them, all right? The moon in Aquarius, moon is I feel underneath the surface. I'm not telling you what I feel because the moon is emotions underneath the surface. And Aquarius is all about out of the box, different. So what I'm showing you is different than what I'm actually feeling, kind of thing. So that is a certain level of dishonesty, right? But I do feel like somebody's going to be coming back around, Sagittarius, barking up your tree. And the truth of the matter is they have an issue with immorality. They have an issue with overstepping boundaries and selfishness. See, it's like you're going to be happy to hear from them, but then this person's not going to be very stand up. To be forewarned is to be forearmed, my friend. And that's being clarified by the Eight of Wands. Yeah, Mercury and Sag. Good news coming in. Lots of busy communication. You know, and this is great news for those of you in relationship, especially if you guys have been separated. Somebody coming in and like, yeah, come on, let's figure this out. Let's work this out. Now, you might just be inherently very, very suspicious of them, or they may not be telling you the full story. So it really is about, you know, figuring out where does this person belong in your life, right? I mean, if it's a work situation, you don't really have a heavy dependence on them. Take everything they say with a grain of salt. If this is somebody that you need to engage in a project with or a relationship or something like this, definitely have a wait and see kind of attitude, because I feel you. It's like you very like, no, man, you have to stand over there. And this person being like, no, I really want to talk. I'm so sorry. That's not how I meant it. But at the end of the day, they really were very self-serving. And they really are very anxious to kind of get things back into a positive space. But you're going to be in this place where it's going to, like, almost like the energy that I'm getting is almost like, prove it to me. Prove it to me. All right, let's go into relationship for Sagittarius, friend. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Sagittarius for you, and then I'm going to pull a separate spread on somebody that you may be dealing with. Okay. You're the Seven of Swords, Sagittarius. What? You are feeling things and maybe even saying things that are not fully in alignment with what you're feeling inside. It's almost like a mask wearing energy, but this is the thing. A lot of times we're like this because we don't know really how we're feeling. We can't just jump into the Seven of Swords and say everything is about being dishonest. The bottom line is sometimes we don't know. We know that we may not feel 100% one way, but we're not 100% sure of how we really feel. So rather than biting our nose off to spite our face, we just kind of go along with a particular narrative that's going to, you know, again, keeping it real, Mars is in Libra. Nobody's going to want to be the bad guy or have any kind of confrontation, right? You're not going to want to deal with that. You're not. So you may be kind of going with the flow of a situation within a relationship, even though deep down you're feeling something very differently. But you're really not sure what it is, right? So it doesn't have to be based in malice. It could be based in a lack of knowing. And the challenge here is the Page of Cups. So to have this as a challenge, I mean, this could be either a breakup or you guys are not broken up. This could be a lot of dependence on somebody's very dependent on you. You're very dependent on another person. This could be also, the Page of Cups could also be a new energy, right? So for some of you, you may be in a relationship and acting like everything is just fine, but your challenge might be somebody who you just came across, somebody who you just met, and they're sort of like in your energy, on your mind, and you're sort of in that space of lingering. Others of you, you're in this space where you may be feeling really, really anxious about the relationship. And that's why we got the Seven of Swords, where you're feeling differently, but you can't quite put your finger on it, but you don't feel comfortable enough in your relationship to bring it out and expect a good response, or a positive response, or a supportive one. And so your challenge here, because Page also indicates a new cycle, that's very emotional. And so that this next cycle might be really challenging for you to begin, because you're still sort of figuring out. I just feel like there's the full truth is not being worked with here, all around. And I'm feeling, and I don't know if this makes sense to you, but I'm feeling a very ball-like energy, where I don't only feel like it's coming from you, I feel like it's also coming from your partner. But it's like nobody's telling each other everything. Two of Cups. Okay, yes. Chariot. Okay. So we have the Chariot coming into this energy in the past, and this is about a relationship situation being expedited. Moving away from negative towards the positive, quick change, right? But anything negative, moving towards that, away from the negative. See, in numerology, this is the Tower energy. And what is the Tower? Is a necessary surrender. It's the truth coming out. It's like, okay, we can't keep doing that. If we're going to work here, we have to move forward. Leave the negativity behind, and let's just focus on the future and move forward here. And we have that Seven of Swords with the Page of Cups that we talked about already. Now, the basis of the situation right now is the Two of Cups, which is a mutually supportive energy, right? This is, if things have been difficult, harmony returning, you working really hard to nurture the relationship. But the current situation, that's the basis. That's what you're really trying to do. But the current situation is a Four of Swords energy. And the Four of Swords is, stepping back, and you're really trying to get a different perspective on figuring out a better strategy for moving forward in this relationship, having to do with a particular situation that you guys are dealing with. So whether it has to do with, whether directly having to do with your connection within relationship, or it could have to do with something that you guys are dealing with together as a couple, having to do with maybe a home, or maybe a family member, or some sort of financial agreement that you guys have to, a financial situation, something like that. Some of you may be a little concerned about money, but it's like that you're trying to strategize here, and that's where you're at right now. Okay, so the recommended approach, we have to look at the Five of Wands. What does that mean? So Five of Wands, Saturn and Leo energy. So you want to look at where is there a battle of wills and lack of agreement? Where are there strong opinions exercised, right? So figure out what that is. Is it have it to do with who does more around the house? Who's more communicative? Who is the one who's always encouraging intimacy? Who's the one who is paying for everything? Whatever the case is. You have to look at that, right? I mean, this is the suggested approach, is to look at where the energy feels competitive within the relationship. That needs to be looked at, and that needs to be addressed. Because competition really is just fear with a dress on, right? It's fear of oh my gosh, just losing autonomy. Feeling like you have to do everything, feeling like things are unfair, unjust, right? It's like the antithesis of the Venus energy, right? So getting in touch with that, it's a minor arcana. It's not a big deal. Like sitting down and having that conversation. Now we have the Four of Cups as the energy that's external to you. So this is the person that you're dealing with. And the Four of Cups energy is this is an energy that for some of you, your partner is very restless, very disillusioned about if the relationship is ever going to actually, get on its right feet, and could be blaming you for a lot of things. But the truth is, they have to also look at themselves and see what still needs healing from their past that they might be projecting on you, that they're saying that they need in the relationship, that they could just provide for themselves, right? So anything like that. But it could also be that this person that you're dealing with, them feeling like things need to be spiced up a little more, or you feeling like you wish they would spice things up a little bit. And what does spice mean? You know what spice means. I don't need to tell you, Sagittarius, right? But that could be a thing for some of you, right? If you've been in a relationship for a long time, it happens to everybody. It's not a big deal, Get your jam on. Do something fun and different. But what is the challenge here? The challenge is the Fool. So when it comes to a relationship, your challenge here could be getting into a new relationship, or if you're in a relationship already, doing things differently than before. Like that could be your challenge right now. Something that you're wanting to do within the relationship or for the relationship right now might be a leap too far for now, in September of 2021, right? Because this could show up as you not thinking things through completely, maybe being a little silly regarding like where you want to go, what you want to do. This could also indicate irresponsible, self-sabotaging choices. If you're in this space, please slow down, think things through, until things feel more clear. Again, I gave like that 6 week. It's Neptune is doing a jam to everybody's chart. It just is, and in that fourth house of home, like especially look, if you live with your partner, or just the whole ability, when we're in relationship, that's so fourth house stuff anyway, right? Because don't we want to feel grounded, rooted, and safe and secure when we're in a relationship? Of course, we want to feel nurtured and all of that good stuff, and being able to do things differently and create new energy may be a huge challenge for you. So this could even look like let's say you guys have been talking about having a baby or buying a house, or doing something that you feel like is gonna really bring your relationship to that next level or deepen it, whatever it is. But you being in this space where you're scared to do that, or you're feeling insecure over whether you're able to fully execute that right now or not. Or you might just be struggling with, the shadow manifestation of Sagittarius can be heavy indecisiveness as well as some manipulation, and we all have a shadow side, and that, so you might be very confused about something, and part of your path is to have a lot more trust in your intuition and a lot more trust in the fact that you have all the information that you need on your own accord here, right? So we have, because look, we have the King of Pentacles is the near future energy. King of Pentacles, there's an element of greed to him, right? He's very generous, he's hardworking, all of that. Doesn't want to play around, is not a player, nothing like that. But this is somebody who is very funny with their money. They could be very generous in certain areas and not at all in others, and have a hard time deciphering like what's more important than what. And I guess that's very subjective, right? Anyway, but this also indicates like this inability or lack of willingness to change, because he has no patience for anyone who's looking to take what's his, whether it's his money, his possessions, or him. Or her, right? Because gender doesn't matter here. So this expectation of truly changing. The King of Pentacles is a tricky energy because they're very solid. They look great on paper, right? All that stuff. But then it's like, all right, but it's kind of conditional, because then they won't go to that place, right? That point of compromise that's necessary. Right? So that could be you or something that you're dealing with your partner. But then we have as your final outcome energy, we have the Seven of Cups. And to me, this is Venus and Scorpio. So this is the Venus energy that I was talking about in the 12th house. So I'm telling you straight up, right? Because that is Venus and Scorpio. And that's what you have. You have Venus and Scorpio in your 12th house of your subconscious, of your limiting beliefs, of what's hidden, of all of that. So you're confused. But there's choices and confusion here. Commitment issues. You're not sure what's real, what's not. Should I do this? Should I do that? Things feel up in the air. You feel like you're in the beginning stages of something. And Sag, you have to ask yourself, are you really scared of something that you are asking all of these questions about, right? Because remember, in this energy, there's a fear of being too vulnerable, a fear of giving up our own power. We're all going to be feeling it wherever we have, but you have it in your 12th house of your subconscious. You know, in that Scorpio energy, which is all about digging stuff up from the past. So you really have to get honest with yourself and see, is stuff from your past rearing its head again, making you question what you're trying to move forward in right now? And this could be from like a past life kind of jam, right? In Scorpio. Because Pluto rules Scorpio. It's like bringing up the dregs, right? Up from the bottom of the barrel, which could be from past lifetimes as well. It's like this unknown, difficult to articulate kind of echoing of a fear. Even if you don't really have a real solid reason, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you don't always have to have it, where it's like this echoing of this fear, right? That fear of intimacy. And people misunderstand that. Well, fear of intimacy does not mean like, get away from me, I don't want you to be near me. No, a lot of times when people have a fear of intimacy, they very much want to be in an intimate relationship. They very much want to be able to let themselves go and not be afraid. But it's so difficult because of these energetic strongholds, often from past lives. Sometimes it's from our early childhood environments. So it can be very frustrating for people who have that fear of intimacy. It's not so cut and dry. Not so cut and dry. All right. So let's see what's going on. Subjective read for the partner of Sagittarius. Hangman. Mm-hmm. Okay. You have the Page of Swords coming into this energy in the reverse. So Page of Swords in the reverse is, could be manipulation. You know, his Pages of Mature, Swords is truth, it's words, it's communication. So this could be, you know, maybe they were holding back, they pulled back in some way. They weren't sure if they wanted to move forward with the relationship in the recent past. You know, right now is they're showing up right now as the Hangman. And the Hangman is this kind of energy where it's like, you know, they're in this space of trying to figure something out, right? This waiting around kind of thing, trying to figure out, am I going to have to martyr you know, this is them. So am I going to have to martyr myself in order to stay in this? Am I going to end up on the lousy end, getting the lousy end of the stick? Am I going to end up victimized in this, right? And just not sure if the sacrifice is worth the time in, you know, or it's like, should I get out now, or should I stay with this and give it another shot? But it's definitely this very real energetic pause button, like emotionally, right? And what is their challenge is the Five of Swords, because, you know, there is this clash between what it is that they want and the reality that they're living. And it's that tension and ongoing conflict that they know they can't win because it's showing up in their energy, in their mind, subjective read, you're the issue. The issue is coming from you. Something is happening that coming from you that's getting in the way of them being able to live the life that they want to with you. And they can't mitigate your stuff. And that's the challenge for them right now. Now, the basis of the situation right now, the Knight of Wands, they're very fired up in their ambitions to try to speed things up, to get things going, to work on this relationship. They're feeling that very much. We have the current situation. The Hierophant is about your marriage or about this committed partnership. but more specifically, looking at the expectations and the need to conform to certain things in this energy. You know, in numerology, this is the Temperance card, and Temperance is about you know, a new level of trust and patient cooperation and reconciling certain issues that come up, and getting through and past a pretty volatile time where things felt sort of out of sync, right? Because, you know, this is an energy where it's very alchemical. It's like, what do you need? What do they need? And then what does the relationship need? And it's that third entity that we always have to honor. We can't come at relationships just from our own perspective. They can't do that either. It's got to be this, where are we compromising for the sake of the relationship, right? And if everyone sticks with their heels dug into the ground, well, this is what I want, well, this is what I want, where is the concession, right? So right now it does seem like there is right now, from this person that you're dealing with, a focus on your connection. You guys don't have to be married. It's just, you know, that is just one of the interpretations of it. Okay, so the suggested approach that needs to be looked at is the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is foundation, looking at your foundation. Looking at what this person offers you. Looking at what you offer them. I mean, this needs to be looked at in their energy. And when I say that, I mean like friendship, I mean intimacy, I mean partnership. Now, this could also indicate, though, for some of you, there could be this like new partner coming in and expressing their emotions for you. And you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. Right? It could be, you know, but that's something that, right, this is a suggested approach that they're needing to look at. Now, that energy could come from their realizing that maybe you met somebody, or somebody came to them and said, look, you know, this is how I feel. And you know, this could even be another person. I hope I'm not confusing you. Somebody opening up their heart about how they feel. Because I'm feeling like this person is outside of your energy. And then we have you showing up as the Two of Wands. Making plans, moving forward, you know. But this also indicates like a new romantic partnership, maybe through work or friends. I don't know if you guys are going in different directions. Some of you could be doing that initially. The challenge here, though, is to settle this conflict that's going on within yourself and with them, within themselves and with them. I apologize. This is coming from them. But this is the challenge here, is settling the conflict. Yeah. Now, in the near future, we have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. The Four of Pentacles in the reverse is about vulnerability. This is poverty mindset. This is feeling a significant sense of lack. Significant. You know, money could be an issue here. Manipulation with money, or somebody just feeling really, really emotionally vulnerable to the point where like they just can't stay in it anymore. And the final outcome for them is there's a lot of pain that they're going to be experiencing. This is heartbreak and pain of the truth and betrayal and depression. But at least like the lights are going to come on and they're going to know the truth of the situation. Somebody also might be feeling very vulnerable because they're having a challenge with their health. Mm-hmm. Wow, you guys are not playing around with this energy. Ooh. Wow, I mean, Sag, it's not often that cards take my breath away when they come out in a certain way, and this is so emotional. As we have the Chariot. So again, the Chariot is a tower energy in numerology. It's like getting away from that toxicity. The Page of Wands. This is somebody coming in expressing themselves for a new cycle. Let's try things differently. Let's do things differently. But for some of you, it's going to be, we have the Tower clarifying the Fool. And then the Emperor. Now let me give you what I'm getting here. For some of you, this realization that the only way to get past the toxicity and the things that keep sticking in this relationship are by you having an absolute internal Tower moment. Recognizing that in order for things to be done differently, you have to literally rewire how you show up in relationships. And a lot of you may be having this go on only because you are the south node of the moon. If there's any sign that is most prone to an internal Tower moment right now, it would be Sagittarius first and Scorpio rising second, if not south nodes. Sagittarius, south node, Scorpio. Getting ready for the January transition into Scorpio being the south node. Those are the two energies that are the most likely to be having internal Tower moments, where it's like past patterns of behavior, done, can't do it anymore. That's got to be the way that you guys are going to be able to move forward in a beautiful way in the relationship and find that happiness that it is that you're looking for, that family contentment, the benefits of security, that deep commitment, that deep communication, that deep romantic vibe. And really doing things differently and recognizing that the only way to fix this is to invest a lot more energy and time to smooth over the issues that need addressing in the relationship. Why this is so emotional for me is because this is literally a like go big or go home. Either we're going to work this out or we are never going to see each other again. And that's it. No more cycles. No more let's go on this merry-go-round of bullshit. We're together, we're not together, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not what I'm getting here. That's it. Now, some of you are going to be resonating with it like that. Others of you are like, goodbye pain. I'm getting the hell away from this toxicity. I'm meeting somebody else. Fool, going in a totally different path, pulling down the life up to this point and just doing their own thing, going in their own direction to find happiness. And Sagittarius, because this is the energy of the person that you're dealing with, this is what I'm saying. It's like a go big or go home. If the imbalance is not addressed in the relationship, somebody's going to be walking. And you might be like, good, bye. Don't let the door hit you in the behind, you know. Others of you are like, wait a minute, maybe I need to think about how things are. And maybe if I am unhappy with how they're doing A, B, and C, but maybe I need to look at my role in this as well. And maybe we need to more actively work on meeting in the middle. So that is what I'm getting there. I'm just going to pull a few closing heart oracles. Wow. It's important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give it to yourself. Oh, it's perfect for an internal Tower moment. Give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that all will work out for the best. Nurture the bonds of friendship within your relationship, and your love life will dramatically improve. I'm feeling very hopeful for you guys. I mean, like, seriously, if you could figure this out, you guys are going to have the best relationship. Truly. Like, really looking at everything that matters. Beautiful. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Just real quick before we close, I want to just give a couple of good days. The 8th and the 9th, you have your moon in Libra, and the 11th. Those are the best 2 days of the month for negotiating anything. The 10th and 11th, the moon is going to be in Scorpio, and the 12th, you're going to be very worried those 2 days, very worried. And then 12th and 13th, Sagittarius, the moon is going to be in your first house. So you're going to be feeling very emotional about a lot of things. And then on the 14th, the moon is going to be in Capricorn in your second house. So you're really going to be thinking very, very clearly. Even though you say the moon is kind of foggy as an energy, you're going to be really getting in touch with your emotions about what it is that you do in the day-to-day for money. I mean, I just feel like this is such an important week for so many people. And but I want to say that that 8th and 9th, especially the 9th, if you have to have any meetings, thumbs up, have it on that day or one of those 2 days. Really good stuff. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.